Hey guys, Dewey Runs here, and I'm going to do another event quest review. This time it's for the Evolution event. Historically, I just kind of lump my ratings of quests into a 1 through 5 star system. I've been kind of struggling with that for a little bit because there are different aspects that go into the quest, like should you hold on to it and do it, is it well designed, and sometimes those ratings don't overlap, so it's hard to just average them together. So I'm trying something a little bit novel today. Maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. But I'm actually going to give 2 separate ratings for every quest. The first one is your typical 1 through 5 star. This is more about the design of the quest itself. Is it a cool theme? Does it make sense? Is it something unique to gameplay? And the second one is going to be trash or treasure. So this is independent of the design, but whether or not you should actually do it or not, okay? So let me give you a completely made example. If there is a quest that said one nice throw for a shiny 100% legendary, that would be 1 star treasure. Treasure meaning you should obviously do it, but 1 star in terms of the design, in terms of it's not balanced correctly, it's not thematic, etc. Okay, so we're going to go through like that for all of these quests here. So let's try it out, see if it works or not. The first 5 or so are all going to get lumped into the same category. This is catch 10 Horsey, 5 Onyx, 5 Porygon, 5 Poliwag Slow Cloak, or 10 Sunkern for the respective evolution items, dragon scales, upgrades, etc. These are all 2-star quests, and they are trash. So 2-star treasure for all of these. So these are just what we call catch-up quests, but they are poorly designed catch-up quests. What MMOs and long-term games and mobile games try to do to bring back players in, or bring in new players that haven't had the opportunity to play for a long time, is they basically give away stuff for free, for very little effort, to try to catch them up to some of the elites that have been playing in order to close that gap a little bit. So Niantic actually did a nice job with this a couple months ago with the Jumpstart research, where they basically gave away free XP and things like Dragonairs and Dragonites for relatively little effort. They actually did a nice job there. This is not a well-designed catch-up event. Catching 10 Horsey is painfully slow. And if you're starting with catching no Horsey, that's still not going to grant you nearly enough Horsey to even use the Dragon Shield in the first place. And the same goes with all the other quests, Onyx, Porygon, etc. There's also inconsistency in the design of the quest. One of them is catch 10 Poliwag or Slowpoke for a King's Rock, because both of them use that for their evolutions. But catch 10 Sunkern should also be Oddish. Catch 5 Onyx should also be Scyther, but they don't. There's just inconsistency there, even though all of those have those respective spawns boosted. So I don't know what Niantic was doing there. I don't know if it was a mistake. I don't know which direction it was a mistake. Did they mean to make it only 10 Poliwag, or did they just forget to add on the Oddish and the Scyther? I don't know. But regardless, you know, someone that's coming back to play this game, this isn't going to keep them active. If they're doing it for very little effort, they might try. But 10 Horsey for a Dragon Scale is not going to cut it. It's not going to grab the interest of returning players and new players. Other things will. So if you're desperate and you've never evolved one of these for some reason, fine, go ahead, do it. Otherwise, no reason to keep this. 2 stars, trash. Next one, evolve 5 Pokemon for 1,000 dust. I'm going to give this 4-star treasure. This is pretty nice. 5 evolves is pretty clunky. It's a little bit slow, but 1,000 dust is not bad at all. You should be able to do this. You should have plenty of candies to evolve with anything. Plenty of the things out right now are 25 candy to evolve. Poliwag, Eevees, Oddish. You should be swimming in those candies by now. So yeah, go ahead and do this. The dust is not terrible. I wouldn't drop a star piece just for this. That's maybe an inefficient use, but if you're in the middle of a ton of different catches, sure, maybe. I personally wouldn't anyway. I think you would lose out dust, but yeah, not a bad quest. Do it, keep it, 4-star treasure. The next one, similar concept, evolve 10 Pokemon for a Burmy. I'm going to give this a 3-star trash. 10 evolve is just way too long. I talked about how 5 evolve was already kind of clunky, but it's like probably just the limit of what's acceptable. You're doubling that effectively. And while the candy is plentiful, a minimum of 250 candy probably with the stuff that's out now, the stuff that's prevalent now, for a Burmy, something that's already out there, is not great. And here's the issue. I know one of you is going to say, oh, you stack 3, you really only have to evolve 10 for 3 Burmy. Okay, fine, but you have to consider how long it takes you to get those, so there's a lot of effort involved in stacking 3 of those at the same time. And on top of that, how many Burmy are you catching in the meantime? In the time that it takes to stack 3 of these and then evolve 10 things on top of that, you're finding a bunch of Burmy anyway, and you're going to get a high IV one, whatever that means. And evolve any quests that give encounters are only worth to grind out for shinies if it's a boosted shiny rate, and these are the standard 1 in 500 shiny rate, meaning you're not going to get a shiny off of this quest. Is more worth your time. You're going to have a higher chance spending that time just grinding out catches in the wild instead. So again, 3 stars, trash. The next one, evolve a Phoebus for 3 rare candies. This is a 1-star trash. This is an instant trash. Nobody has a bunch of EVs sitting around to evolve. 3 rare. This is one where if you don't stack 3 of them, you're kind of an idiot. But let's say you do walk a Phoebus for 20 kilometers and then dump 100 candy into it for 3 rare candies. If you need those rare candies, you're just better off walking the thing. We're assuming you're not walking, a legendary here or something like that. But at the most, anything's going to be 5 kilometers. So instead of just walking the Phoebus for 20 kilometers, just walk the thing you want for 20 kilometers. In the worst case scenarios, you're going to get 4 rare candies for that specific buddy that you want. So yeah, this is an insta trash. You have to catch a Phoebus too, which isn't exactly the easiest thing. I don't know if people have a million of these things stowed away. So absolutely terrible quest, beyond belief. I don't see what the point of this is. And at least with the other quests here, there's some quests I'm going to get to where you can do a limited amount of them, but you're going to run out of materials. But at least you can kind of replenish the materials along the way in a very slow fashion. You can't really replenish with Phoebus during this event. Phoebus aren't boosted, so if you don't have a Phoebus, there's no way to just get one in the context of the event without being extremely lucky and then doing it. So insta trash, 1-star trash, terrible rip-off of the quest. Next one, use an item to evolve a Pokemon for a Clamperl. I'm going to give this a 3-star. I'm going to go with trash. There's only so many evolution items to go through. This will quickly deplete them. Even a hardcore player is only going to be sitting on so many evolution items. This one's going to waste a lot of them. Some of them are actually needed for very specific quests. If you desperately need a shiny Clamperl for whatever reason, I still might hold off. They're going to bring these things back, a million times. So, I think you have better uses of the limited evolve items that you're going to have. Or if you don't plan on using this event, they always use items in future events. So save it for a future quest that's going to be maybe just a little bit better. So again, 3-star trash for this one. Next one, evolve an Onyx for a Scyther. I'm going to give this a 3-star treasure with an asterisk. There's only so many times you can do this, so you might be forced to trash after a certain point. Yeah, you don't have to stack 3 here. You also have to keep in mind the rating of this this is a little bit devalued because Scyther has been completely prevalent in a million different events and in quests for a long time. It's part of the standard quest pool as a 10 nanops quest, and I gave that a 4-star rating. And if I did that rating today with the current system, I'll make it a 4-star treasure. So you're not exactly missing out if you trash these. I would still personally do a couple. Stack 2, you don't have to stack 3. I feel fine with just using 2 at once and getting 2 shots at a shiny Scyther out of it, which is boosted, by the way. So yeah, but again, if you do choose to get rid of this, not the biggest deal in the world, because it's going to be back in another. It's already in the quest pool. It's going to be there for at least another month, and it's going to be back in a million different events anyway. So again, I think it's not a bad. I'm actually just going to give it kind of the flip side of the Clan Pearl quest. Give it a 3-star treasure. Hatch 7 eggs for a Sinnoh Stone. This almost leads into my next kind of 2 quests and has almost the completely inverted rating of them. This is a 1-star trash, just like the Evolve a Phoebus quest. Even if you're already evolving, or if you're constantly running 9 incubators at once, I still wouldn't keep this. I'm assuming most people are not, but even if you are, this is taking up a quest slot for something you don't need. And I think it speaks to my larger point that I'm going to talk to, is that you guys are completely overvaluing Sinnoh Stones. Sinnoh Stones are trash. Well, I don't know what you need a Sinnoh Stone for. There are much easier ways to get it, such as battling someone in PvP, getting out of research breakthroughs. And if you haven't started doing that, just do a couple of those for a couple minutes a day. Way more feasible and a better use of your time than hatching 7 eggs for this total waste of a quest. 1-star trash. Next one. Win 5 raids for a magnetic, glacial, or mossy lore. I'm going to give this a 4-star trash. And it breaks my heart because this is kind of cool. This feels like one of the longer storyline quests that they give to, where Professor Willow's rambling to you about something. You have to do some obscure quest line. They give you some weird reward, like a star piece or a lucky egg or an incubator. This is pretty cool. They should do more of these. I'm generally not one of those people that's like, just give me more stuff for free. But I kind of like the idea of this. It's just 5 raids is a little bit too much. I'm not saying 1 raid. I don't even say make it 3 raids. I'm just saying I want more kind of similar stuff like this. We don't have to make it an encounter or dust or balls every time. You can get a little bit creative with the rewards, I think. And I think this is a step in the right direction. These types of lures don't really pop up much outside of really obscure storyline quest events, so I'd like to see more stuff like this in the future. The last one, this is probably the ultimate reason why I designed this new system, is because the 2 ratings are so far apart from each other. Win 3 times against the Team Go Rocket Leaders. And you're gonna get an Unova Stone out of it. This is a 5-star trash. This one really breaks my heart. Why is this 5 stars? I just think it's well designed. I like these kind of long, overarching goals, these large, overarching quests that take a long time but give you a very cool reward. This reward isn't quite worth it. But I like the general direction. The reward's a little bit different than is typical. Again, it's not just a regular, 83% encounter you're going to get out of something. It's not just a couple Pokeballs, anything like that. It's an Ovastone. It's a new reward. It's an exciting reward. The effort that you have to go through, it's not just being the Go Rocket Leaders. You have to, beat the grunts, get the radar pieces attached to it. So why am I trashing it? Well, every single one of you is completely overvaluing an Unova Stone. You do not need an Unova Stone. Unova stones right now are what Sinnoh stones were at the same point last year. You guys are currently trashing Sinnoh stones because you have too many of them. You don't need them for anything. You roll your eyes when you get them in field research boxes. You're going to be exactly the same way with Unova stones at this point next year. You do not need them for... What are you going to evolve out of it? Right now, the only things that require it are those stupid monkeys. Hey, OC, what's up, Woody? And a chandelier, which right now you don't need anyway. So you are like desperately trying to throw money at Niantic or slave for hours and hours and hours. What's the fastest you're going to complete this thing? 1 day. If you're talking about buying the rocket radars from the shop directly, the people that do that don't need this quest in the first place because they've been doing that the whole time and they already have more Unova stones than they need. So you do not slave for a day to get one of these things. You're going to be throwing them out probably in the next month. You're going to be rolling your eyes at them because you don't need to evolve anything out of it. The only meta-relevant thing is Chandelier, and you don't need that for anything in raids or PvP right now. So again, kind of like the past quest though, I like the general idea. Is like it's a cool quest. It's a little bit different. Defeat the team rocket leaders, all 3 of them. You get a little bit of a different reward out of it. It takes a little bit more effort. You can't just necessarily complete it in 5 seconds and be done with it. These last 2 quests, win 5 raids, win 3 times against the Go Rocket Leaders. We need more stuff like this. So 5 stars in the design. More stuff like that, Niantic. The reward needs to match the effort, though. We're not quite there, but hopefully we get there in the future. So that's my review. Let me know what you think of the new rating system. Love it, hate it. Give my rating system rating. Is it 4-star trash? Is it 1-star treasure? You know, you tell me. This is Dewey Runs. I'll see you next time.